What if I told you the problem isn't your business, but a surprising compliance blind spot that can bring any international deal to a screeching halt? For certain types of goods, there's a class of documents that financiers and insurers now see as absolutely essential. In this video, I'm going to show you what that is and how sorting it out can finally get you the funding you need to expand worldwide. The problem, the pain. For so many entrepreneurs, this is where the dream of global expansion hits a wall. You're ready to scale. Maybe you even have purchase orders lining up, but you can't get the trade financing, letters of credit, or shipment insurance to follow through. It's like running into an invisible barrier. You start questioning everything. Is my pricing off? Are my forecasts too optimistic? But the real issue is often buried in the dense world of international trade regulations. For a bank, financing an international shipment isn't just about whether you'll pay them back. It's a massive compliance risk. They're not just worried about your credit. They're terrified about the legality of your shipment. If something's not right, they could face crippling penalties, and that's a risk they simply won't take. 2. The big reveal: export compliance. So what is this hidden key? It's not one single piece of paper, but it's all about proving your transaction is secure and compliant. For a surprising number of products, the cornerstone of this is the export license. Now, you might be thinking, hold on, I don't need an export license. I'm not shipping missiles or military gear. And that right there is one of the most expensive misunderstandings in modern business. The definition of what needs a license has ballooned. Today, it covers a huge range of goods, technologies, and even software that are considered dual use, meaning they have both civilian and potential military applications. Banks and their regulators are on high alert for this. Without proof that you've done your homework and secured a license if required, your application is likely dead on arrival. 3. Why? This compliance step is a deal breaker. Let's break down why this has become such a critical step for getting financed. First, it's a green light for banks and insurers. A letter of credit is a bank's promise to pay you, but that promise depends on you meeting all the terms, and that includes regulatory compliance. If your goods are controlled, an export license is the hard evidence they need that your shipment is legal and that they aren't accidentally financing a deal that violates national security laws. If a license is required for your specific transaction, they will not process the trade financing or issue a letter of credit without it. Second, it protects everyone from massive risks. Failing to comply with export controls can trigger severe penalties. We're talking civil fines that can be over $300,000 per violation, and criminal penalties that can reach up to $1 million per violation and even 20 years in prison. In one recent case, a woman was sentenced to 15 months in prison for illegally exporting technical drawings of military components to Turkey. Faced with that level of risk, banks will slam the brakes if they see any red flags or missing compliance documents. And third, it's a tool for market access. Increasingly, serious international partners want to see that you have your regulatory house in order before they do business. Having the right authorizations isn't just about checking a box anymore. It shows you're a credible, reliable, and low-risk partner. 4. The 2025 urgency. New rules are changing the game. This has become especially critical as we move through 2025. The regulatory landscape is tightening, particularly in the realm of technology. The US government has expanded export controls on advanced tech like artificial intelligence and semiconductors to prevent sensitive technology from reaching certain countries. The rules are stricter than ever, and financial institutions are now expected to be on the front lines, actively screening transactions for any sign of trouble. And for them, a missing license, when one is required, is the biggest red flag of all. Navigating all of this can feel like a nightmare, but it doesn't have to be. To help you figure this out, I've put together a simple checklist that walks you through the key steps in determining your export compliance needs. And if you're getting value from this video, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss our next video on global business growth. So, if your global ambitions have been stuck in neutral because of funding rejections, it's time to look beyond your balance sheet. The rejection likely isn't about you or your business. It's about risk. Proving your compliance and securing an export license if your product requires one isn't just another administrative hurdle. It is the strategic move that de-risks your transaction in the eyes of financiers. Stop seeing it as a roadblock and start seeing it for what it truly is, the key that can smooth the path to your trade financing, secure your shipments, and finally open the door to your global expansion.